There was an American embargo. You couldn't legally send arms to the Middle East, but the British were secretly supplying the Arabs with arms. As a matter of fact, the Haganah, they stole some secret papers from the British, which showed that they were supplying arms to the Arabs. So Truman knew about that, and he was furious when he saw the British were supplying arms to the Arabs. So when the American Jews came to him and said, look, this isn't fair, and Truman said, you're right. He said, I will tell the FBI to look the other way. He said, you can load out the munitions. He said, just don't get it in the newspaper. So they were secretly loading out his munitions in a pier in Jersey City. And one night, one of the crates dropped and broke open. And it was marked on the outside textile machinery, but inside was TNT. They said enough TNT to blow up Jersey City. And 3 guys were hauled before the judge. The point they had to find another place because the cover was blown in Jersey City. The only Jew in the New York waterfront in those days who has a steamship terminal on the East River in New York, which is my father. My father said yes. So my father told me he was picked up in the middle of the night at his home in Larchmont. He was blindfolded, driven in the car. He said, I don't know where I went. I don't know who I saw. He was somebody from Palestine who told him the problem, that they had to find a place that was quiet and secretive in the New York side of the river to ship out this arms. Our pier is across from 34th Street. It's right out opposite the Empire State Building, highly visible. So it really didn't make sense to do it there because anybody could see it driving up and down the East River Drive. So he found a place in Astoria, Queens, Potts Cove. It's just below the Triborough Bridge. He arranged to get that space and have arms loaded out. He needed then the longshoremen, so he went to the local longshoremen, who were all dominated by the Irish, and he said, look, we're fighting the British. So the Irish said, we're fighting the British, we're in. So the longshoremen came down, and my father came, talked about coming down at midnight with a black bag and paying these guys off in cash. And that's where they loaded out, I don't know, at least 2 ships, I don't know how many shiploads of arms to the Haganah. The only reason I know this story is it's an interesting sequel. Many years later, in the 1960s, we were selling lumber, and we had a customer. He was going broke. So as collateral for the debt he owed on his lumber, he gave us a mortgage on his property. My father and I went over one morning to look at the property that we just acquired, and it was the same property. I said to my father, I said, I wonder if you could bring in ships there. And he said, shh, I did.